I'm Dr. Ali Matu. Today, I remember the life of Leonard Nimoy by celebrating the psychology of Spock. Welcome to the Psych Show. On February 27th, Leonard Nimoy died at the age of 83. He was an actor, director, poet, singer, and photographer. But we'll always remember him as Spock. This half-human, half-Vulcan character is the most important person in the Star Trek universe. He's the only character who's made an appearance in every era of Star Trek, from the original series to the Next Generation, and now J.J. Abrams' parallel universe. Spock changed science fiction. I really like what Charlie Jane Anders said in her obituary at IO9. Before Spock, science fiction was full of emotionless aliens who spoke in a monotone or imitated a stereotypical computer inflection. Nimoy gave a whole range of nuance to the Vulcan role, conveying a lot of different stuff with every raised eyebrow or furrowed brow. A huge host of sympathetic aliens on television owe their genesis to Spock. After news broke of Leonard Nimoy's death, social media was flooded with messages mourning his loss and celebrating his life. There were messages from celebrities, scientists, and Trekkies. Even President Obama issued a statement saying, "Long before being nerdy was cool, there was Leonard Nimoy." Leonard was a lifelong lover of the arts and humanities, a supporter of the sciences, generous with his talent and his time, and of course, Leonard was Spock. Cool, logical, big-eared, and level-headed, the center of Star Trek's optimistic, inclusive vision of humanity's future. I loved Spock. What is it about Leonard Nimoy's Spock that resonated with so many people of so many different generations across the galaxy? It's a simple, beautiful idea. What makes us different is what makes us awesome. Let me explain. The central experience of Spock's childhood is growing up in a bicultural home. Not only was he a minority on Vulcan, he may have been the only half-human, half-Vulcan on the entire planet. This connects with real psychology. You might not be half Vulcan, but maybe your parents grew up in a different culture than the one you're in now. Perhaps you studied abroad. Or maybe you moved far away from wherever it is you grew up. In all of these scenarios, different cultures come into continuous contact with each other. The main challenge for people living in multiple cultures is to find a way to integrate their experiences. Psychologists call this the Bicultural Identity integration construct. People who are able to combine their different cultures usually end up feeling pretty good about themselves. People who struggle to combine their cultures usually feel pressure to choose one or the other. Spock was constantly exploring his bicultural identity. It's a big part of the story in Journey to Babel, The Voyage Home, and the 2009 Star Trek film. Sometimes he identifies more with his Vulcan side, and every now and then he does something that's much more human. Largely because of his friendship with Kirk, Spock learns that his human and Vulcan sides can actually coexist. From this point on, Spock gets very good at cultural frame switching and code switching. He can think, act, and feel like an illogical human and switch to being a green-blooded Vulcan whenever he needs to. All of us do this to some degree. When I'm at work, I say stuff like, "Good afternoon, how are you?" With my friends, the Californian in me comes out. "Hey fools, haven't seen you guys in hella days." And then with my god puppy, it's much more like, "Hi Maji!" People who've learned to integrate their different cultural experiences get really good at this. Those who haven't been exposed to many cultures or have a hard time integrating them really struggle at code switching. This is what makes Spock so awesome. He's developed the ability to think flexibly depending upon the situation he's in. That's why he plays a key role in the peace negotiations between the Federation and the Klingons, and why he works towards unification between the Vulcans and the Romulans. That's the ultimate lesson of Spock. If we can find a way to embrace all aspects of ourselves and approach life with an open mind, we're capable of great things. That's exactly what Leonard Nimoy did in his life. The Vulcan salute, it was inspired by his experience growing up in a Jewish Orthodox family. His love of photography influenced his acting, which later led him to direct feature films. All of this led him back to using photography to challenge our ideals of beauty. This is why Spock means so much to me and why I'll miss Leonard Nimoy so dearly. As a bicultural kid who felt like an alien, Spock made me feel less alone. As an adult, Leonard Nimoy was a role model who showed me how to integrate all the different things that make you who you are. Spock once said, "Every life comes to an end when time demands it." Loss of life is to be mourned, but only if that life was wasted. Leonard Nimoy prospered in life and his work will live long into the future. Thank you, Mr. Nimoy, for showing us that our differences are our strengths. Click on my hand to subscribe and get more psychology.